I'm gonna get right into the Q&A, and I'm gonna start with the first question, and I can't find the question. So if you're watching and you asked this question, drop a comment below and let me know if this is helpful or not. So someone mentioned that they were having difficulty flossing under their all-on-4 hybrid. I'm not sure what kind of floss you're using, but I use Oral-B Super Floss, and as you can see on the package, it's ideal for braces, bridges, and wide spaces. And then when you open it up, it kind of looks like a tissue box, and then you just reach in and pull one of those strings out. It's a long string, and there's 3 components to it. The first part is a stiff part, and that is what you're going to use to thread underneath your hybrid. Then you have this middle part, which is the spongy part. That is the specific part that you want to use underneath your hybrids. This last part is just like regular floss, and it's too stiff to go under the hybrid. If you try to floss underneath there with that, it's going to hurt. And then you just take that stiff part and you thread underneath, and then you catch it with your tongue and just reach in and pull it out. Then using a back and forth motion, you go all around that section of your hybrid, pull it out, then you rethread it between the next 2 implants. For the back, you just hook it around the back and do the same thing, back and forth motions to floss. For the top, I have found that it is much easier to go from the back and thread it through that way. And instead of catching it with your tongue, you're going to catch it with your finger. After I do that, that is when I use the water pick, because I feel like the floss kind of loosens up any kind of particles, like food particles and stuff that are under the hybrids. The water pick is easier to get in there and get the rest of that. I brush my teeth first because I don't want it to be a huge mess. Then I floss with this, and then I use the water pick and then swish with mouthwash. And I will do an updated cleaning routine. If anybody is interested in seeing a video like that, leave it in the comment section below. So PermaFit wants to know if it is worth it to have a backup set of dentures. Listen, I get it. A lot of people are struggling just to afford the first set. Same. I was there. I totally know what that's like. At the time that I had my dentures, I just didn't have enough money to pay for a backup set. But if I did have the money, would I have a backup set? Initially, no, because your mouth is going to change so much in the first, year or 2. They're just not going to fit anyways. But that's the good thing about digital dentures. Once they get that initial impression, they have got the impression of your mouth. It's there. It's in their computer software. Not only that, they can scan your actual denture and make you a denture in a couple hours. That is game-changing technology. So nowadays, I don't think it's necessary to have a physical backup denture on hand, because technology has evolved and the turnaround for getting dentures is shorter and shorter. Maybe look into a dentist that uses digital denture software and equipment. That would be a great way to have peace of mind that if something were to happen to your denture, you could go back and get another denture pretty much the same day. Kenneth is going to be getting zirconia teeth, and he wants to know how long it takes to get adjusted to the weight difference, since zirconia is significantly heavier than what I currently have, which is just acrylic. I don't have experience with that, but I have gotten feedback from people who did get zirconia. It does take some time getting used to. I think that the human body is amazing. It does an incredible job at adjusting to anything new. Just like with dentures, there's a transitional period where you're still getting used to the sensations. You're still getting used to the function. You're getting used to all of those changes that have happened in such a short amount of time, and trying to create a new baseline of what feels normal to you. So my best word of advice, if you're getting zirconia and you're nervous about how you're going to be able to adjust to the weight, just remember that no matter what material you go with, there's going to be an adjustment period. So Shannon wants to know if there is a supply chain issue, in particular with dental related product. Her extraction day keeps getting pushed back because the teeth haven't actually came in yet, and she's starting to get a little concerned. I haven't heard anything about specifically dental stuff having a hold up, but I know that supplies in general are experiencing delays homes right now. I work in construction lending. We lend to builders of residential homes and stuff like that. We had a builder that could not complete his house because it was months and months before the windows for the house would get there. From what I understand, it's just because they're short staffed. They don't have enough people to deliver the supplies. And this is pretty much across the board. People are experiencing these types of delays. Though I haven't heard anything specific about delays, I imagine that that's probably pretty normal, and I'm sorry you're having to wait, but just be patient, and I know that they'll get there eventually. Leave a comment below and update us when you finally get your extractions and your dentures. Kiki wants to know, how do you find a dentist that you can trust, and what type of dentist should you go to? That's an interesting question, because I still don't have the answer to that. I don't know how you can find a dentist that you trust. It seems so sketchy these days with online reviews. A lot of them are so extreme. So you'll get somebody leaving a review if they had a terrible experience, and it might not even have been the dentist's fault that they had a terrible experience. Reviews tend to be very extreme. If you see one after another, 200 reviews, 1.5 stars, I might avoid them. I would look at their website and see if they have examples of their work. See if they've got a link to an Instagram account where they show what they're capable of doing. Because I've seen some dentists post some stuff online where it was like, that doesn't look that great, and they're super proud of it, but I'm like, okay. But then I'll see dentists that are like, just small family businesses, and they're like out there putting in some work on just amazing dentures. So be very leery of online reviews because they tend to fall in the extreme area, and then just look for dentists that have smile galleries and examples of their work. Typically, prosthodontists are the best when it comes to extractions and replacing teeth because they have a little bit more training. General dentists do everything. Prosthodontists, they deal specifically with tooth replacement, replacing teeth with prosthetics like dentures or implants, whether it's a full mouth or a single implant. So I hope that answers your question. And then the last question is from Christina. She wants to know, what if she gets the treatment plan, but she's not able to afford it? And that's a question that kind of hits hard because I have experience there, honestly. And the video that she's responding to is the video that I posted recently about just making your first appointment and just doing that and not thinking too far into the future. And it's interesting because I edited this part out. I edited out the part where I went through with the first step. And honestly, even after I made my first consultation and I had the x-rays done and they gave me the treatment plan, I was like, well, great, now I did that, but now I can't afford it. Usually I would just leave it at that. I wouldn't call and cancel the next appointment. I'd just be so bummed out about it that I just wouldn't go back. And if I did that and just accepted that I couldn't afford the treatment plan that they had laid out for me, then I would have went down this quest to try to find out how I'm going to make all of this money to pay for the treatment. All it took was a phone call to the dentist and saying, hey, listen guys, I'm going to have to cancel my appointment because you're charging $5,400 and I've got $3,900 and I just can't come up with the rest of the money right now. Just by making that phone call, they were able to work out a deal with me and I was able to get the dentures at a discounted price. They knocked off over $1,000. It still wasn't quite enough. I only had $3,900, not $4,100, but they said that they would be willing to take that remaining payment like at a later date when I was able to pay them back. And I'm not saying that every single dentist out there will work with you, but you should not let that prevent you from taking that first step of getting that treatment plan, because maybe they will work with you and drop the overall price of the procedure. But if they don't, at least it gives you a starting point. At least you have something to work towards. Sit down and think, what do I need to do to come up with that extra money? And just start brainstorming. And it might not happen, within that month or the next 6 months. It may even take over a year to get there. But eventually, if you keep pushing and you keep trying, you will get there. So I hope that helped. I hope that these questions were helpful to all of you. I'm sorry that this has been delayed. I did not realize that Thursday was Thanksgiving, even though I knew Thursday was Thanksgiving because we were literally repainting baseboards to get ready for it. But I didn't put 2 and 2 together. So if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, please. It helps me in the algorithm so more people can discover my videos. Leave a comment below if you've got a question for the next Q&A, because I'm gonna try to get that one up on Thursday. Subscribe to my channel. That's the best way that you can support what I'm doing here on YouTube. Share it if you know anybody that could benefit from seeing all of this stuff. I will see you guys next time, and y'all take care.